Hey, it's MK, and I am back with 31 Days of Cut File Fun. And I am also joining Crystal Barrett. She is Pineapple Papers over here on YouTube with Off the Board. And today I picked this digital and like almost a sketch to work with today. And I am going to also be using this cut file made by Christina Sorge, who is the owner of Redifined Kreative over on the website. Yeah, she's got a website over there. Anyways, I plan on using cardstock instead of digital for all of my pieces. And the cardstock papers that I chose are by Paper Rose, and it is Mountain Trek. I'm going to be using A for the cut aparts and D, I believe is what that said, for my main piece right here. And then some close to my heart cardstocks that I picked out. I also have the cut aparts from that Mountain Trek. These were all leftovers from another paper that I had, as well as these Stampin' Up! Trees that I die cut from other pieces as well. And then I have this branding strip that is upside down, but it is from the 49 and Market papers. I believe it was the Adventure something. Cannot remember. So what I'm going to do first is I am going to not trim down my photos, but make a rather large photo mat for them. So basically I am trimming down to 4 by 6 or 4¼ by 6¼ and in order to get 4 I cut out the corners, and then that way I am able to get 4 of them. Even though I didn't really need 4 of them, I probably could have cut it at 6¼ and then cut my 4¼ but I like to save paper sometimes. So I'm also going to cut out the word to, so that way it says in the wild rather than into the wild. So yeah, I want it to say in the wild because I feel like that fits my title a little bit better than into the wild, because this isn't really like, when you think of the wild, you think of the jungles or some tropical place that has exotic animals and things like that. And this right here, even though it's the wild, it's kind of a different kind of wild. So we don't have bears, but we do have wolves and we have rattlesnakes, and we have wild animals of the sort, raccoons and things like that, but not exotic animals. So even though this is technically still the wild, it's not. When somebody says the wild, the first thing that pops up all the time when I look it up is the zoo, animals that you would see in the zoo. And so I thought, yeah, into the wild doesn't really work. It, in the wild works better. Anyways, blah, enough about the title. So I'm going to take my rather large circle template by Creative Memories, and I'm going to use the middle, I guess it's the trimmer blade, the middle blade, sorry, and cut out my main paper. Then I'm going to use the most smallest blade, which is that red one, to cut out my cardstock. And then that way I can layer these up. And then I plan on putting the middle piece back into my pattern paper, but it's going to have a border of this brown cardstock around it. So I thought that that was kind of cool and does still look a little bit like the, my off the board, what's it called? Digital like sketch is what it is. Now, these are digital templates. If I was reading correctly, these are actual digital templates that you can purchase. However, you have to go in to the system and insert your photo and then send it off to a printer to get the 12 by 12 printed. So it's kind of sort of a weird thing, but for those that are into digital, I wouldn't say it's all that weird, in all honesty, because it's nice and clean and gives you something to be looking at. So I am going to use that little wavy line at the bottom of my digital sketch and use it where so for my title basically is what I'm going to be doing. And for the example that they have, which if you go onto Annie C Digitals and see their example, they actually have the pictures put in there and then where their title is going to go, which again is also digital, but nothing else changes. So all you basically see is, instead of white squares, you see photos that are pretty much of the same area or region, I should say, as my photos, which I thought was pretty cool. But not what, it is not what attracted me to this. It was actually the up and down portions of the photos is what attracted me to this particular sketch. But before I get into that, I want to tell you guys what I'm doing really quickly. Now, I am taking those tropical leaves and I am covering them with these trees, which I'm actually turning into bushes. Because when we go camping, there's not a whole lot of trees. We do have juniper trees, but they're so squatty that they look like overgrown bushes, like ginormous, huge bushes. And then every now and then one of them squirts up and looks like a tree, but now they're bushes. And then I took this camping word, so now it says camping in the wild as my title, and it fits. It's perfect for what my title is. But it's, again, the tropical leaves did not match. And so basically I covered them up with my bushes, with my makeshift bushes. And I believe that it looks great now. I chose to do wild in in green, because I kind of wanted it to blend in with the bushes as well. Just like my sketch, I am going to put the trees up at the top. I really do like how it kind of mimics or matches the background trees as well. So it's kind of like a dimension where you've got a foreground and a background. So I really like that. And then just because I don't want it to be a plain Jane layout, I decided that I am going to pop up my title. And I glued the in down, because that's going to be a pill to pop up. I glue that in down directly to my photo, and then I took my my title off to pop it up. So I'm just going to trim off everything using my my click blade. I don't know, pen blade I think is what it's called, but I am going to use it to trim everything off, just because of the fact that there were so many itty bitty little bits. I didn't want my scissors getting caught in between the layers and whatnot. So I'm also going to take the other portion, because I don't like to waste anything, and put it on the other side. And then that way my entire title goes from edge to edge, even though it didn't in the first place. It stopped short about half an inch. So I really do like the fact that it looks like it's an entire complete border. And to finish off, I'm going to put these boots and this tree and this little branding strip that has like kind of a definition of the word wander. I'm going to put it down on top of, just down in the corner as a small little embellishment. It's not really necessary, but I felt like it was a little needed, maybe. But of course I didn't want my tree to be up and down, or I didn't want my tree to be crooked, but I wanted the boots and the definition to be a little bit askew. And so I definitely, had to fix my tree real quick. And then I just put pop dots on the branding strip, only because I'm going to glue the rest of it to the title that was also popped up. And then the last thing that I am going to do is add some sequins to this. Now these are self-adhering sequins from Close to My Heart. Millions of years ago, I picked them up because of the blue that came. So it was like a light blue, dark blue, and then this brown. It was their ocean section of sequins, and I absolutely loved them. So when they went on sale to like kind of get rid of them, I picked up a bunch. But that is pretty much it. These pictures are from what I have been scrapbooking ever since I started this little series of the 31 days. So I didn't really have a whole lot to take, to talk about as far as where we are at. These are just pictures of both sides of the campsite, basically. So yeah, that is it. Here is my layout. Simple, super simple. The cut file and the paper did all the work for me. I just added my photos, and that was it. All right, be sure to check out everyone else that is playing along with Crystal and Off the Board. All of their links will be down below. And again, make sure you check out Christina, who is playing along with me on the Facebook Lives for 31 Days of Cut File Fun. All right, thank you so much. Bye.